It's time to announce our winners of the Hackster Impact 2022 Impact Award. We have 3 of these, and I will hold them up now. So, I should have awards music for this. But yeah, our 3 award winners are Manu Prakash, Shah Selby, and Michelle Andre, who are all doing work to promote the health of our oceans and air with some really interesting technology that we're about to dig into. So first up, Manu Prakash. And let me pull up my notes here because I don't have this memorized. Manu Prakash is a professor at Stanford University, a physical biologist democratizing access to science and medical diagnostics via frugal science approaches. His team has invented many open hardware tools for citizen science. He's best known for Foldscope. Let me pull that up for you. Here we go. Ah, it's so cool. I really want one of these, and I should just order one, honestly, because as mentioned before, they're very low cost, and that's the point. So he's best known for Foldscope, which is a $1 origami microscope that has created the world's largest amateur microscopy program with more than 1.7 million microscopes deployed in over 150 countries, and a global online network of diverse voices, including young scientists from Iraq to Yemen, Alaska to Alabama, and all corners of the globe. His community is tackling everything from climate change and planetary scale ecological monitoring to agriculture and animal health, science education, and disease diagnostics. He has developed and applied principles of frugal science to initiate more than 24 low-cost open source projects to tackle global problems in health, hygiene, ecological monitoring, and science education. Manu was raised in Meerut in rural India. He was trained in computer science, physics, and engineering at the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, MIT, and Harvard. Since 2011, he's run a curiosity-driven science lab as a professor at Stanford, where they apply cellular and physical biology principles to problems in organismic biophysics, to develop novel tools for measurements in biological systems, and democratize access to science and medical diagnostics via frugal science approaches. So I want to show you a few of his links. Manu Prakash is on Twitter. We'll put the link to that in the description of the video when we publish the recording. The Prakash Lab, you can look up Foldscope as well. Curiosity-driven science. I think they have an awesome website. If you look at, they've got their tweets embedded here, but also some really cute imagery. And I don't say that in a sort of patronizing way. It is legitimately adorable and also awesome. I love it. Check out Foldscope on Twitter. And also, if you look it up, you'll find all these different groups from different places in the world where they have local groups organized around the Foldscope. I love it. Our next awardee is Shah Selby, who's been on our Hackster Cafe program, I think only once, but I feel like he's a much larger presence in our community. So Shah is a rocket scientist and engineering activist. He's the founder of FieldKit, an open source software and hardware platform that allows individuals and organizations to collect and share field-based research data and tell stories through interactive visualizations. Named a National Geographic Society Fellow for pioneering work in conservation technology, he's provided strategy and technical guidance across a number of grant programs and field projects across 4 continents. He has a deep-rooted passion in development and evaluation of technology solutions around conservation issues using open source technology, our favorite thing, including developing Undersea Connection, which is an open source acoustic monitoring buoy to listen for illegal traffic in marine protected areas and minimize the impact on marine mammals. He collaborated with TED speaker Andres Russo on a robotic water quality sampling probe as part of the Boiling River Project, an ambitious effort to understand a mysterious boiling river in the middle of the Peruvian Amazon. He developed and installed an open source glacial melt monitoring platform on the Bow Glacier in Banff National Park. The system measures the retreating glacier in real time and streams the data live to an online system. The data is used for scientific monitoring and as the basis of a large public art installation at Brookfield Place in downtown Calgary. And he's developed open source GPS tracking devices for monitoring illegal shark finning with the late Rob Stewart, who is an ocean conservationist and documentary filmmaker of Shark Water. So just to show you a little bit more about Shah, here's his Twitter. You can see the vast array of qualifications and involvements that he has, just an incredibly credentialed but also passionate individual who does tons of work around this stuff. You can see his work with Field Kit, and also here's our Hackster Cafe interview, which I'll also put a link to. Field Kit, again, you can find information about that on the conservify.org page. Their tagline is "Making Open Conservation a Reality," and there's lots more about it there. It's a robust solar-powered modular system. I love it. And then also there's a Vimeo video up about Undersea Connection, which is that acoustic buoy, smart buoy that listens to what's happening under the sea and uses machine learning to characterize it and send notifications. That is so cool. Our final honoree is also using acoustic technology to protect marine life. Michel Andre, let me pull up our blurb. So Michel Andre is a French bioacoustic scientist who feels deeply for ocean life, especially whales. A Rolex Awards laureate, and Andre created the world's first whale anti-collision system, or WACS, in 2008. Let me get some water here. WACS is essentially an undersea listening system which helps make ship captains aware of whales crossing their path. So Michel developed this technology based on his research on sperm whales in the Canary Islands, which had started to collide with passenger ferries. And he discovered that the whales unfortunately suffered from loss of hearing. So by capturing the sounds produced by the whales in real time and sending the position of each whale to the ship's captain, they know that in 2 or 3 or 10 miles they might encounter a whale. And this allows the voyager to change their course to prevent a collision. So where unfortunately the whales have lost their hearing, now the ship captains can be aware of where they are and can compensate for that using acoustic technology, which I just think is such an interesting trade-off there. So Andre graduated from the Institut National des Sciences Appliquées, INSA, Toulouse, France. He holds a master's degree in biochemistry and a master's degree in animal physiology from the Université Paul Sabatier de Toulouse, France. His PhD dissertation that he defended at the Universidad de Las Palmas de Gran Canaria was on sperm whale acoustics and noise pollution. You can see the common threads here. He was a research assistant at the San Francisco State University, California, an intern scientist at the Marine Mammal Center, California, and an associate professor at the Universidad de Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, España. Just another incredible person who's doing really cool work. Michel Andre, you can follow him on Twitter also. He's got this beautiful page explaining lots of his work. Making Sense of Sound, a spin-off of the Technical University of Catalonia, Barcelona Tech. So much cool stuff. You can find articles in publications about his work, the WACS system that we were describing, where they help protect whales by detecting the sounds the whales make and transmitting their locations to sea captains, ship captains. Also, check out his page on ResearchGate. Just a vast array of really fascinating looking projects, all kinds of different animals, commercial cuttlefish, which is an interesting one to me, particularly because it engages with renewable energy and things that we need to be concerned with as we begin to construct more and more renewable energy. You know, what are the interactions with local wildlife? And I'll let you continue to scroll through here yourselves. Farmed salmon, apple snails, all kinds of interesting stuff. There's this paper on making sense of sounds, and I'm going to go reload this page because we have written an article on Hackster News, Hackster.io/news that we've just published. In case you want to go and check out their work, just go to Hackster.io/news and check out this article where you can learn more about each of our honorees. Very excited to share these folks. And I want to show you what each of them is going to be getting. It will probably take a little bit of playing with the camera here, specifically for this first prize. So I have made each of them a laser cut trophy. So celebrating our water and air theme for this year, we've got a raindrop and a little cloud. And this is just a token of our appreciation for each of these folks, they were not warned ahead of time. This is actually a surprise for them as well. So you're each getting a trophy, a Hackster swag bag from our gold tier sponsor, Nordic Semiconductor. I would love to invite each of you. We already had Shah Selvi on for a Hackster Cafe interview, but I would love to do it again because you're just doing so much cool stuff. And it's always fun to delve a little bit more deeply into this kind of stuff. So each of you will hopefully join me for an hour-long Hackster Cafe interview. Those go live at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays, but we may pre-record. And then finally, also a Hackster News write-up for each of them, in addition to our overview article, which I mentioned we just published at Hackster.io/news. Each of them will get their own write-up with a deep dive on their work from our team. So I've just received word that we are good to move on to the next session. Please join me in returning to the lobby, and we will all go on to the next session where I will introduce our final workshop of the day, which is from Bob Martin, the Wizard of Make, Microchip. So let's all go to the lobby, let's all go to the lobby and go see Bob Martin.